Good afternoon, everybody, and it's good to be here once again. It's the 30th day of July 2025, and we're here again Wednesday afternoon, 2 hours into trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. It's good to be with you once again, and hopefully we go through the market as usual to see opportunities in which we can continue to grow our wealth. Thank you very much for joining. It's a privilege to be here once again on all platforms. I want to appreciate everybody who has been a part of this. I respect you all for your doggedness in trying to grow your net worth. And the best I can do to appreciate you is to continue to keep faith with this project and to continue to be here to share investment opportunities with you. Thank you very much. It's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, and a lot is going on in the market that we will quickly take a look at in the course of this live session. You know how we do it on all platforms. If you are on YouTube, make sure you are sharing the live session and of course liking severally as often as you want and you can. Of course, you are on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. Do the same. Keep liking, keep sharing, and keep giving gifts as much as possible. All screen actions will eventually get us to attract more participants so that we become a blessing to others as well. Thank you very much for joining once again. If I may introduce myself, I am referred to as Wealth Coach Omiete because I have passion for helping individuals and corporate organizations grow their net worth via investing in the capital market and the money markets. Hopefully, some of you are already beneficiaries of this passion that I have, and we are flocking together now according to the saying that birds of the same feather flock together. So we want to impact our world positively and let the investing public know and the generality of Nigerians that you can actually grow your money legitimately and build a fraud-free wealth legacy. Thank you so very much, everybody. This is how I introduce myself. Thank you, JD Foods. I see you there for that gift. Really appreciate you for the roses. All of your screen actions continues to encourage me to do more because indeed I get to understand that something good is happening with us as we keep growing. Fidelity Bank is now 21 naira 50 kobo, gaining 1 naira for the day. TIP has dropped to 14 naira 30 kobo as we speak. 711,000 bids versus 1.3 million offers, and that tells you profit takers are now under pressure to keep selling. Jaiz Bank is down to 3 naira 97 kobo, which is a good entry point for anybody who may want to get into Jaiz Bank. I think under 4 naira is not bad at all. Nascon is suddenly 100 naira per share, 8 naira gained today, while Cadbury is dropping to 67. FCMB gaining 15 kobo, currently 10 naira 45 kobo. As we proceed in this live stream, I would be taking your comments. We want to, as much as possible, satisfy your questions and do our best to reach out to you as much as we can. WAPCO continues to power up, 148 naira per share right now, gaining about 8 naira 10 kobo per share. That's up from the 140 naira it closed yesterday. Bid and offer, the bids are still a lot more, 8 million bids versus 1 million offers. That's talking about WAPCO. MTN, 489 naira. It touched 490 just a few seconds ago. It's really interesting the impression MTN is creating in the market. Currently, 3 million bids versus 1 million offers. A lot is going on behind the scene that we do not know. Whether or not they are going to resume dividend payments, we can't tell. But the current situation is that MTN continues to fly. We're expecting their half-year results. Hopefully it is good. If not, then people may show their displeasure or disapproval. For now, it keeps flying. It looks like it wants to touch 500 in a hurry. All right. So yesterday, I do not also want to overflog the developments in the market yesterday, talking about review. So I'll just paper around it very fast so we can accommodate more and more of your comments. The Nigerian equity market is currently basking in a historic rally, extending its winning streak to 18 consecutive trading sessions, a performance last seen over a decade ago, right? So the bullish momentum continues. Ours is to go ahead and look for opportunities in the market. I've actually done a good job in trying to spot opportunities for you if you take a good look. For instance, right here this morning, UACN suddenly is trading at 73 naira per share. And guess what? It's on full bid. And what could be the reason? Just because UACN is now bidding to, looking to buy over Chi Foods or Chi Exotic from the Coca-Cola range of juice drinks. And that's a bold move to make. So the fact that UACN wants to buy that arm of Coca-Cola's business, that's the manufacturing arm of Five Alive, Chi Exotic, all of those juices, those packed juices. That's the breaking news that I have for you. And that's the reason why UACN is suddenly flying. When you see a solid business, you don't want to joke around it. This is a UACN that some people bought just a few weeks ago at 50 naira per share. Now look at it, 73 naira already. 73 naira. Some people even bought this UACN 33 naira. And here we are, 73 naira per share, full bid. Guess what? 6.7 million bids, no offer. And you know what? Most of those 6.7 million bids are at the highest price of 73 naira. Out of 6.4 million bids, we have about 5.2 million at that highest price of 73 naira. So suddenly, UACN is now a beautiful bride, and they are looking forward to buying that juice arm of Nigerian Bottling Company. You see why, beyond the paperwork, beyond earnings per share, you must look to see where there is value and get in there. Who would have thought that UACN will overtake Unilever, which is currently at 72, while UACN is at 73? Even Cadbury has been overtaken by UACN from nowhere, suddenly, because that news came. And can I tell you this? This is where you begin to learn some of these fundamentals, talking about the cash reserve. What gave UACN this impetus is because they have very huge cash reserve. You see that? Dr. Abisoye Ajayi says UACN 34 naira 70 kobo was what she bought. You see that? Now, if you are not following me, you are losing money. I think this cannot be overemphasized because we are seeing it happen before our very eyes. And just like that, 34 naira 70 kobo means you are already exactly 100%, even more than 100% in profit right now, because at 34.70, it means that 100% means at 69 naira 40 kobo. And here we are at 73. So more than 100% done already on UACN. Why was I repeatedly mentioning UACN? I will tell you, because UACN has always had a solid cash reserve. So even when the performance is not looking too wonderful, you know that something good will happen with that heavy cash reserve. Remember, this was the same year that UACN actually decided to pay very little dividend. I'm talking about 60 kobo out of the 4 naira plus that they made in full year. And I said something when it was retracing because of the poor dividend, that the good thing is that they have retained a lot of cash, so their cash reserve will be growing, and that gives them the muscle to either expand the business or be ready for any eventual economic shocks which could crumble other businesses. Well, they have now deployed that cash into acquiring this fantastic business, right? So that's the reason why. And please, if you are asking me whether should you buy UACN now, I don't know. Because I kept saying buy UACN at 33, and it hasn't been long. I don't know if it's up to 1 month or maximum 2 months. I even went on my Instagram page. If you saw my post on Instagram, you would have seen that I posted UACN even at 40, even though I started mentioning UACN at 15. Even at 40, as at when I made that post on my Instagram page, that it still had very good value in it. And I told you that the FMCG sector will be flying this year. Well, we've seen it already happening, and so that's the situation with UACN. Really, really interesting to see there is strong, genuine interest to buy and mop up this stock, and it is showing in the bid and offer status as we are seeing right now. So if you bought UACN, congratulations. Kaka says, can I top up once it's available at the current price, sir? Well, for those who bought earlier, it looks really good for you to even top up, even if it's double the price you bought, because worst case scenario, if you bought at 34, 35, and you now see it at 73 to buy before it gets to 100, then you would be only averaging up from 35 to maybe 50, and then, but the price is already 100, you know, so, all right, Kaka says she's up 120% already. Interesting, isn't it? Wow. Awesome. Where are my admins? Thank you very much, Maobi. I can see you there already. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing the moderators and admins for all platforms. Maobi is right there on TikTok. He will be taking most of your questions that I may not be able to attend to due to the speed of this scrolling screen before me. And then we have also Benita on YouTube. She is known by the username on YouTube, Firm with Mayo. So if you see Benita beside the name, please feel free to interact and take some of the comments, responses that she has for you. And then we have Rehoboth at Gratitude Boss. Is also on TikTok as a moderator. Eventually, some of them will be coming up to join me to respond to some of your questions as we try to create some level of stability and to make sure that we are doing our best to respond to most of you. These are some of the executive members of Network Investors Club working with me as co-host on a daily basis to satisfy your desire for responses, because as the system platforms are increasing in number, it only gets more difficult for us to keep pace. So we have met, and we will keep doing the best we can to stay in touch and respond to most of your questions as much as possible. Okay? Sir, I need your advice. I want to sell Etana and purchase Seplat shares. Please do not go for Seplat. Why go for Seplat? Why not go for Dangote Cement, for example? That's a better proposition because Seplat does not have sufficient growth left. The report released by Seplat is showing that they are paying too much money as taxation, and it ate deep into their profit before tax. So you want to be careful because the oil industry is heavily taxed, and for whatever reason, I think since after they acquired that mobile facility, taxation has become a major hindrance to their profit after tax. Bisoye says, good afternoon, coach. Please, I haven't received dividends on my First Bank and GT for 12 years. Bisoye, have you filled the online e-dividend mandate form? If you haven't, that's one way to go. Secondly, you should just Google search registrars for First Bank, registrars for GT. Unfortunately, we're not hearing very interesting feedbacks a lot of times regarding GT Bank's registrars, but you've got to try and also contact your broker to help you push your case, because your dividend is due you and you should be getting all of it from year 1 to year 12, like you have stated. None of them should continue to hang around there, even as you have found a community like this from where we can work things out. Okay? Yes, you said UACN was an 18 naira stock while it was at 40. Great call, coach. Akudo Onyido, you are showing me that you are really, really attentive and smart to remember some of these things offhand. You know, sometimes some people have called me prophet. I don't know if that is what I am manifesting for you, But my joy is if that is exactly what's happening and it's putting money in your pocket, then I'm very happy with that. So go ahead and enjoy your ride. For everyone who listened and took position in UACN. Good day, coach. The results released so far have been fantastic. Patience is key in making money. Entered Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank at 2. It's now 55% up. Interesting. You know, after several years of being stagnated for a long time, Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank can reward the patient. And one good thing about that stock is they've been consistent in paying their dividends, and that really is very interesting to note. Consistency in paying dividend, and then the dividend yield has always also been very attractive, if you like, compared to others. That's because for a long time the stock price remained stagnated, but these days it's now getting attention. Suddenly, Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank is a 3 naira stock. Interesting stuff, isn't it? Let me see what the price is as we speak right now. Something happened also that I need to inform us. Hold on, let me just finish with Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank. Okay, 3 naira 41 kobo per share as we speak. If you take, because it's always been under 2 naira for long, the dividend yield used to be fantastic until most recently when the price moved up. So those who bought under 2 naira all those while, you continue to enjoy very reasonable dividend, and they've been consistent about that. Okay, so we go on to, listen, your opportunities will keep coming. Something I anticipated is also happening now. Yesterday, we were told that Okomu Oil, or was it on Monday I announced here that Okomu Oil had declared an interim dividend of 30 naira per share. I think that's the biggest interim dividend that has ever been announced on the floor of the stock exchange. And then suddenly just yesterday, or was it this early morning, Presco came out with a dividend, interim dividend of 20 naira per share. So there's a war going on right now in that oil palm sector. Okomu is looking like they will not give up just yet. And so we are having a situation where Okomu Oil is now selling at 1,147 naira 70 kobo. I did a post on Twitter and I said this war, I mean there could be a war, a price war brewing between these two oil palm stocks, going by the interim dividends that have been declared by both of them. You know, so as it stands now, suddenly Okomu is up to 1,147, while Presco is still at 1,534. In fact, dropped just a few nairas from the 1,550 it closed yesterday, right? So it's looking really interesting. Okomu's dividend payment is coming earlier than that of Presco, and so a whole lot is happening. I also hear that Presco is showing interest in raising about 250 billion naira also to expand their business. If you take a look at the item up for resolution in their announcement for an AGM, you will see that there is a place where they indicated that shareholders will be required to make a decision or vote towards either an acquisition or a partnership or something like that. But so some level of serious business expansion is in the cards for Presco from what we are seeing. So keep your ears on the ground. We've not seen it all, but this show of force by Okomu is something commendable because they were way behind Presco in price per share. But what do we have now? Suddenly they have become so close and they are now competing strongly regarding dividend payouts. Okay. Does the new GDP rebasing have any implication in Nigerian stock market? C4 Golden. Interesting question there, but with or without GDP rebasing, the stock market had actually suffered undervaluation for so long because every other thing in the Nigerian economy had increased double times the actual prices that they've been for years, and most Nigerian stocks remained undervalued. So I would say it is more of a repricing and then more of reward for good performances that the Nigerian stocks or the Nigerian market is now flying. Most stocks have remained undervalued for so long, and it's looking really a case of repricing more or less than GDP rebasing. That's my simple opinion. Okay, Lolade says, sir, please check on Guinness. Full bid for days, but the volume isn't pushing the price above 117. Absolutely, that's the case for now, but that will not last too long. When the money bags are done with most other stocks, they will find their way into Guinness and stay in there. Now, that's also some form of an advantage, because should Guinness run the way it ought to have run, then we won't be seeing it anything near 130 or 150. So this continuous stagnation will eventually receive attention at the appropriate time, when most of the funds in the other, or the opportunities in the other stocks, have been milked dry. That's what I think, and hopefully it happens that way. For now, you can even see the bid and offer. There is over 600,000 bids. At the first two bids are over 600,000. So there's a strong interest in Guinness, but eventually the money has to come before those moves start happening. Okay, please, why is Sunu Assurance continually going down? Oluseyi Adebi, I would say Sunu actually was on a bull run, in fact a personal bull run on itself, and that's why it kept flying, and in the end it cannot sustain that ascendancy we saw in 2024 because the fundamentals did not support the kind of movement it had made. So what we are seeing is reality check happening as far as Sunu Assurance is concerned. So don't be surprised. Hopefully you didn't buy too expensive, because Sunu eventually went as high. Okay, I'm getting feedback from Instagram, that there is no audio on Instagram. Instagram family, can you hear me now? Please confirm that audio has been restored. I don't know why the system keeps pausing this live session on Instagram. That's the cause of it. Why it is pausing it, I have no idea. Please confirm to me that audio has been restored. Okay, Grace, afternoon, coach, or is it good afternoon? Shegun Arauye says, I've not gotten my VFD and AfriPro bonus. Don't know what's responsible. What platform do you use? Please confirm on the comments section for now. Okay, audio is back on Instagram. Thank you very much for that feedback. I can now concentrate. You know, when you express worries on your platforms like this, also unsettled, because I really want you to get everything there is. Just imagine Nascon making its full year 2024 profit after tax within half year 2025. The manufacturing sector is going gaga. VFD result also fantastic. Okay, we watch to see what the market does with VFD's result. So you have heard it. That's coming from Niger Uplift. The reason why you are seeing Nascon now flying to where it is today is because profit after tax of 2024 has been recorded half year into 2025. Isn't that crazy? And that's why I told you a long time ago that Nascon is the standout performer for now. And the more Nascon goes higher, the more leverage that gives Dangote cement. Dangote sugar. Wow, Mutual Benefit Assurance is giving us some surprises here. 1 naira 84 kobo. Wonderful. That's really, really wonderful. Great performance there by Mutual Benefit Assurance. Interesting to see. Okay. Current bid and offer status. Goodness gracious. Nascon, there are about 33 million bids for Nascon. 33 million bids. 1 billion naira spent on Nascon already, and just 673,000 offers. So this Nascon we are seeing at Okay, it's down to 99.90 from 100 naira per share. I see this Nascon eventually going into full bid. I just hope that most of those who bought Nascon very high last year and were really worried that I kept telling to hold on to your stocks, don't be worried that merger didn't happen. Dangote himself did not abandon his businesses because merger did not take place. Behave like the owner of the business. I kept encouraging people. I hope you stayed on, because suddenly Nascon has even gone further than what the cost was that you ever bought it last year. In fact, this should be an all-time high for Nascon. And I would say the same also for Dangote Sugar. Before our very eyes, I told you that that result might have deceived some of the public, but not us. And I said here, buy your Dangote Sugar 58 naira if you see it under 60, and it went down to 58. Then it started climbing to 60, and now what do we have? Dangote Sugar is also on full bid. Maximum price for the day from 64 naira 70 kobo. Dangote Sugar is now 71 naira 15 kobo. I told you at the beginning of the year that we will be making money this year. How is that panning out for you? I hope it's fine. It's looking good, right? And sometimes this is why we shouldn't be too afraid to invest in strong growth companies, because you never know what can come out of them. Now, Bua Cement suddenly is not receiving as much attention, and therefore is at 124 naira per share. The good thing about this is the lower Bua Cement goes, the higher WAPCO goes, the better Bua Cement looks. So it's time to look for opportunities in case you are missing out on some. I'm seeing some opportunities that we can take advantage of as time goes on. For instance, Cadbury is down from 70 to 67. Who would have believed that this was the same Cadbury we were looking at 24 and 30 and 40, suddenly 67 naira, and that's actually a pullback from 70 naira 95 kobo it got to. Keep your comments coming in. I like to entertain as much comments as possible. Thank you very much, my moderators, or our moderators. You are doing excellently well. Thank you, Benita. Thank you, Rehoboth, Gratitude Boss. Thank you, Maobi and Luke. Appreciate you all. Okay, Coach, UCAP and UBA, I need to buy. Should I wait? Now, UCAP is receiving punishment for announcing a dividend of an interim dividend of 30 kobo per share. If UCAP is receiving such a punishment from 2080 to 1995, I wonder what happens to a stock like African Prudential that announced a 10 kobo interim dividend, right? So sometimes you see these things happen, you don't know why. But the interesting thing is we just continue to make progress. Ifeanyi Andrew says MTN has jumped to 490 naira. Awesome, isn't it? Interesting stuff there. The same MTN that was just 170 naira in November. Thank you, Coach. Please, sir, did you mention Cadbury is a good investment and 67? Yes, good long-term position. Going by what's happening in the market, I do not see it pulling back too low below that 67. Okay, Coach, please throw more light on FeedSyn results. Well, FeedSyn has didn't do too well. I'm sure it's reflecting in their stock price right now, because the market is going to really pay attention to performances these days. And even if it's just the second quarter result, so you can imagine what happens in the third quarter when results will be published again. Let me go and see what went on with the price of FeedSyn. So FeedSyn is down to 39 naira 95 kobo from the 43.90. I knew it that the moment it left 27 range and went further upwards to 47, that it was not a place to go until I see the result happening well. I stopped betting for investment and I never regretted it. I studied Coach for 7 months. Footy fans, are you serious? Tell me, how did it happen? Please go ahead and mention. In fact, in the course of today's live stream, I would like you to call in and throw more light, because a lot of times, most of your testimonials, your experiences can also help encourage so many people to know exactly how to go about this. NACO 105. Interesting, isn't it? Now, NACO is one stock that is now looking to me, and this is the first time I'm going to say this. I don't know if you want to call this a prophecy. I do not intend to prophesy. I'm just looking at both details of what's going on and what is most likely to happen. NACO is now trying to gather more steam to rise. But unfortunately, I'm seeing that NACO is on full offer. Very funny, isn't it? 111 naira per share from the 117 of yesterday. There are only 500 offers. What's really happening? Cadbury is down to 66, looking really interesting, while Fidelity is going up 21 naira 35 kobo. So NACO is now 111 naira, and there is just 500 bids for 500 shares bidded for at 106. What could be happening? Is it that they posted a bad result? Well, bids have flown in. Sometimes it is somebody who came to sell down for a pressing financial need. So far, 3 million shares has been traded, and so that could just be the reason why NACO has dropped. But I was going to say something, that NACO is looking like a long-term value, growth stock. I see it creating more value for shareholders and therefore continually growing. If you see NACO close to 100 or below, it's good to buy, because I do not see NACO in any form of struggle as we speak. Now it's August, it's summertime, there will be more sales, and so beyond the second quarter result that may be announced, the fourth quarter is going to be a bumper harvest as well, considering the fact that a lot of travels will be taking place. Local and international flights will be happening severally all through the entire month of August before the holiday season is over. So pay attention to NACO. A whole lot is happening, and if you follow the trend as explained here, you would have really taken position in the biggest companies after the penny stock rallies happened. I saw it. I understood that that was what was going to happen. When people were worried that the big stocks were not moving, I told them, relax. The big boys don't run along with the small ones. You know, when an aircraft and a motorbike decides to take off at the same time, the motorbike moves because it doesn't need too much warming, while the aircraft may need to steam for 30 whole minutes. So while the motorbike is still on its way to Lagos from Port Harcourt, the aircraft is still warming. And then once the aircraft takes off, 1 hour, it's done and dusted. Whereas a motorbike will be somewhere around either Bayelsa or Delta State, still struggling to make their way, because that journey eventually may end up an 8 or 9 hours journey. Whereas the aircraft takes 1 hour, even though it took off much later than the motorbike. So that's the scenario with penny stocks versus growth stocks when it comes to bull run. So when you see that the penny stocks are running and then the run begins to slow down, you want to offload your assets from them and then take position in the big guns who will be preparing to embark on their own flight. Mr. D. Abba says, Coach, I'm up by over 100%. UACN is flying. Congratulations. These are the stories I like to hear. Coach, please, FTN Cocoa, a goodbye. No. I've not. I don't think the result was fantastic. As you can see, it's down to 6 naira 30 kobo. If there is nothing, no information backing FTN Cocoa behind the scene, then all the things I was talking about, how it jumped from 2 naira to 7, 8 naira, is now becoming a reality. As we speak, 8.7 million shares of FTN Cocoa is on offer. There are 0 bids. Nobody is buying, no offer, no bid at the moment, and the price is now at the least it can sell for today. Maximum 10% lost, 6 naira 30 kobo. If you run after FTN Cocoa, you must have been stuck in there. Sometimes we learn not only by instructions like I give out, sometimes we learn by experience. So if you are currently stuck in FTN Cocoa, that's also a lesson not to run after flying stocks. I'm sure because of how often I've mentioned that and tried to drill it into our heads here, a lot of people must have been protected from making those mistakes. Because if you jump after every stock that is flying, then you're going to always find yourself being shut out when everybody is running out of the stock. And then you will remain there and be watching the stock dropping 10% on a daily basis until offers begin to build up again. So that's the situation regarding FTN Cocoa. Please do not buy FTN Cocoa, otherwise you get stuck. Coach, please, is Champs and QTIC still good for long term? Nothing has changed as far as the long-term projections for these stocks are concerned. They are very good long-term stocks, and long-term is long-term. Stop being moved by what's happening in the immediate term. When you are investing in a long-term stock that you have programmed to be for long-term, stay in that stock and stop being bothered about little price movements here and there. That's the discipline that is needed to make the most of the capital markets. The People's Empowerment Coach on the following, okay, I've lost that comment I was going to read. Shola Eran, thank you very much. Appreciate you. I can't see the full name, but I see the roses. Really appreciated. Is Aruti Briscoe good at 3.98 Kobo? Aruti Briscoe is my speculative play. One news about CNG program of the federal government can skyrocket that stock beyond 4 naira. Currently, we are just seated quietly and watching others jump around while we enjoy the spectacle. And it's moved suddenly from 3.67 to 3.98 Kobo. So this is Aruti Briscoe trying hard to knock on the 4 naira door. The bids are much less, 2.5 million bids versus 4.6 million offers, but all of that can just disappear before you know it. So Aruti Briscoe, in spite of having more offers than bids, is still trying to touch the 4 naira mark. So it's looking like it's gathering momentum to retest that 4 naira ceiling, and if it busts through, it may try to begin to find a way to establish a support. If there are not much supplies after it touches 4, then it's going to be a sure banker for consolidation above 4. So I am just as patient, trying to be as patient as possible. It's not as though the result was so wonderful, but I'm looking beyond the results, and anything can just happen. One news somewhere, just like you have heard, UACN trying to acquire Chivita, the Chivita arm of Nigerian bottling company. You can see everything just changes. Okay? So even when you have a stock and the result is not too wonderful, you don't want to go about looking for you, because you can't tell what results are going to be good and which are not going to be good. If you have done your due diligence to an extent and gotten conviction to buy a stock, it's better to just stay in that stock. So of all the fantastic performance of a stock like Transcorp, why is there so much supply of Transcorp and the price even dropping to 50 naira, in fact 49 naira at some point? Why is it happening that way? You just can't predict the market. Okay? So stay connected and stay invested, and let's keep going. Yes, I'm stuck in FTN Cocoa. Oh, Max, really? What happened? You bought very high, perhaps. I'm so sorry about that. Footy fans say, should I sell FTN Cocoa or not? Well, as it stands now, you can't sell it because there are no buyers. You just want to pay attention and watch and see what happens from here. Coach, I'm on 120.5% UACN. Shegun Araoye, congratulations. Now, this is not the time to sell. I'd like us to also understand that sometimes you do not, a lot of times, you hold on to your winners and keep riding the wins, because they've been down for a while and then they just hit a new height, and there is more likelihood that they will keep going higher. Who knows? The valuation might be 100 or more with this new business they are about to acquire, and that will do a lot of good to their revenue. Of course, if they buy over that business, it begins to add revenue. That's a fantastic revenue growth for a business that is already doing excellently well, right? So do not also be too much in a hurry to sell, because you didn't come into the stock market to buy and sell, really. We really get excited. We want to sell off when we see some reasonable gains, but sometimes, and a lot of times, you let your winners ride. That's what is the best approach to these things. Yes? All right. So let's keep going. Your comments, really appreciated. Keeps us going. Is Ikeja Hotel good to buy, sir? Sherry Konko. That was when it was 12 naira and even 7 naira. I remember mentioning Ikeja Hotel all the way from 7. Let me see how much it is now. I can assure you, Ikeja Hotel, very well run, fantastic business. It's just that they've not been paying out very good dividends, and so that's why that stock remains stagnated around 7 naira for so long. But this year, guess what? Ikeja Hotel is no longer sleeping. It's receiving all the attention there is. It's 23 naira at the moment. No much transaction has been done today, just 85,000 shares traded, so you don't want to rush into it. But the bids are still more than the offers. 1.7 million bids versus 454,000 offers. Okay, so if you want to take a position in Ikeja Hotel, simply because it's a good business, you can take a long-term position. But try to see if you can place a bid at 22.65 or 22.50, 22 naira 50 kobo, or even 21 naira. So the bids can actually be staggered as much as possible, and then if anybody comes to sell down, you will be fortunate to get. NACO just dropped results. Okay, let me check what NACO's result is, if we can fetch it while we are still here live, and to see how it looks like. Could it be that the result did not impress the market, and that's why we saw a dip earlier? NACO 110 naira 90 kobo per share. We'll see how it goes. 344,000 bids versus 1.3 million offers. Okay, just give me a moment. I'm going to company results on the NGX, and then let me fetch that of NACO. So Multiverse has also published their Q2 result, and then Cornerstone has done theirs. Wow. Honeywell Floor Q1 results is out. VFD is out. Nascon is out. Of course, UACN. Actually, this is the news that is empowering UACN now. UACN has actually announced agreement to acquire Chivita Hollandia Limited. That's Chi Limited from Coca-Cola Company. So just in case you are not aware, this is the news driving UACN. Let me go into the details of this news particularly. Please pay attention, and you will now understand what I mean by company having solid cash reserve means that they have financial muscle to do a whole lot. And so when they didn't pay up to 1 naira per share, having earned more than 4 naira per share, they just paid only 60 kobo. People dumped the stock. And I remember UACN dropped from 30 naira at that time to about 26 naira. All of this happened around February, March. Now take a look at this. UACN of Nigeria announced that it has entered into an agreement to acquire Chivita Hollandia Chi Limited from the Coca-Cola Company. Chi Limited is a leading food and beverage player in Nigeria with a portfolio across value-added dairy products, juices, nectars, still drinks, and snacks. The Hollandia brand is the market leader in evaporated milk and drinking yogurt, while the Chivita brand is the market leader in the fruit juice business. This transaction, which is subject to regulatory approval, marks a strategic milestone in UACN's growth agenda, expanding its presence in Nigeria's fast-moving consumer goods sector. You see, FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. It supports the Coca-Cola Company strategy to operate a flexible and asset-light model and focus on brands that have the greatest potential to scale. Recently, Coca-Cola system announced it will invest $1 billion in Nigeria over 5 years and remains committed to these investments, provided a predictable and enabling environment is in place. Right? I'm trying to look for how much this transaction was, but I'm not seeing it anywhere yet. So it is interesting to note that UACN has actually gone ahead to enter into an agreement. So this transaction is really going to happen. And the interesting part of it is it was kept quiet. There was no precursor noise. There was no advance noise about the deal. So only those faithful to the stock are now going to benefit. You get the point. There is no insider making noise, trading, everybody jumping around, not knowing what's going on. Before anything happens, the news is out. So only the loyal holders of UACN are now going to benefit. I'm so happy I bumped into you, Coach. My whole portfolio is up 50%. That's a whole lot. If a whole portfolio is 50% up, that's a whole lot. That means if you invested 100 million for a start, you are now at 150 million. A lot of times you see one or two stocks doing 100% in a portfolio, but the portfolio is just about 20% up or 15% up. So when you see a whole portfolio 50% up, that's a great deal, right? Congratulations, D. It can only get better from here. That's what we wish for everybody. Okay? So that's the update as far as UACN is concerned. I will go away from that. I wanted to go and check the report of NACO. So give me a bit of time. Let's see what NACO is offering us at the moment. Q2, it's supposed to be a bumper package. Let's see how it goes. I know that 2024 last quarter will be more because of the festivities. Understanding of these industries that these companies operate will also help you to better assimilate their performances, so you don't misjudge them and lose out on opportunities that you could have benefited from. I'll focus on the group performances. January to June, that's the 6 months results, not the quarterly results this time. Okay, so let's listen up. 2025 group performance, 6 months. January to June, that's talking about the 6 months or half-year result of NACO. In 2024, NACO generated 16 billion naira revenue, whereas 2025, 32 billion naira revenue. 6 months. Now, operating costs increased from 7 billion to 13 billion in 2025. And gross profit doubled, almost doubled, from 8.8 billion to 19 billion in 2025. And then 2024 profit before tax, we saw 4.7 billion naira generated by NACO, and in 2025, it increased more than double to 11.7 billion naira. Income tax more than doubled from 1.4 billion to 2.9 billion. Profit for the year increased from 3.3 billion, almost tripled, to 8.8 billion naira. Earnings per share, ladies and gentlemen, NACO generated 1 naira 71 kobo 2024 6 months. And now, 2025, from 1 naira 71 kobo, earnings per share is 4 naira 55 kobo. This is, as expected, a bumper harvest. So if you see NACO dropping to 110, perhaps it's because they feel that the price, the result has already been priced in. That's another thing that can actually happen. Based on long-term expectation of what NACO can do, the stock price can move ahead faster than before the result comes out. Okay? So if it's dropping now, two things. Number one, maybe the market has not seen the result. Number two, they are feeling that it's been priced in already before the result came out. So we are seeing 1.4 million offers for NACO versus 499,000 bids. So this means the stock price may just suffer some dipping for now. Now, if you want to value these stock based on, if you ask me to value this stock based on the current earnings per share, though it's going to be better. The second half of the year is always going to be better than the first half, and this is what we must understand during your valuation or trying to make any kind of fair estimate of these stocks. NACO is a festive season stock because they work in the oil industry, in the airline industry, and whatever they have generated in the first half will be nothing compared to what's going to happen in the second half, because, like I said, the second half is a holiday season from now. The entire August, there will be international and local flights more than usual because children are on holidays, families will be moving left, right, and center, locally and internationally. So flight activities will increase between now and August ending into the first or second week of September. That's more revenue for NACO. And then, remember, December particularly is another very busy month for these companies because of a whole lot of holiday travels, Christmas movements here and there. That's when you have the highest form of travels also. So all of that put together is what makes up the second half of the year. And you can't compare flight activities and airport businesses that goes on in the second half to what has happened in the first half. So if they have recorded over 4 naira per share, earnings per share for the first half, I can comfortably hazard a guess that they will do as much as more than 5 or 6, up to 6 naira per share. Therefore, I'm looking at about 11 naira per share full year EPS. So if you now want to use that to check what the eventual outcome for a stock like NACO would be, want to check what the average PE ratio, using an average PE ratio of say 14, then I would rather be comfortable with 10. Then it's a 110 naira stock. Otherwise, if the PE ratio of the industry is far higher and say up to 12, then it's either a 120 or 130 stock. And anything can still happen upwards from there, because in the end, what dividend they will declare will eventually decide how far the stock price can run. So if you are buying NACO at 110 and below, it's still not a bad business. It's a good buy, and then maybe more contracts along the line and more projections and more growth activities could just keep the stock price going higher. Okay? So, barring any unforeseen circumstances that may affect the airline industry, similar to COVID when everywhere was shut down, NACO should be recording up to 11 naira full year dividend, or at least minimum 10 naira earnings per share. And if they earn 10 naira earnings per share, and if I take a look at their dividend payout ratio, I don't know if I can assess that quickly enough. The payout ratio, if it's about 70% and they earn 10 naira, that's 70 kobo per share. A 7 naira per share that they will pay. And they paid 5 naira something per share the last time. So it's likely that NACO could earn as much as 10 naira and pay 7 naira per share, which is going to be a great improvement also from the previous. All right, let me not waste too much of your time. We'll go back to your comments on YouTube. Thank you very much, Benita. You are doing a great job. I'm seeing your responses to most of the questions there. Please, Coach, talk on Fortis Insurance at 20 kobo. Please be careful with all those penny stocks. Fortis Insurance, I've never heard of that before. Let me check if they are on the equity board and see what is going on with them. Fortis Insurance, never heard of that. Can't find them. On what board are you looking at it from? Sorry, I can't find that. If you can give me more clue, then I can be able to. Zenith is being offloaded at 72.90. Very little quantities. I don't know why that is happening, but let's see how it goes. So that's it with that. Coach, is Honeywell still good? Olauton Ijikwotu. Honeywell is out of prediction right now because we are only waiting for what the parent company, Flour Mills of Nigeria, will do. Whether the result is even good or not doesn't matter anymore. A buyout is in the making, and we're just patiently waiting for what the parent company does. So reacting to the result now doesn't really matter. What matters is what the shareholders eventually agree to pay, to be paid, and then they'll be paid off. TIP, as expected, continues to drop, currently 14 naira 5 kobo per share. Keep your comments coming in. In 4 minutes' time, we'll be opening up. In 4 minutes' time, we'll be opening the call lines on TikTok to receive your calls. GT Bank has topped 100 naira. I told us here that when GT Bank dropped to 93 naira, nobody was looking at it anymore. And actually, that was the time to get back in to that stock. As we speak now, 100 naira per share. I'm just wondering how much GT Bank may come out to announce as their interim dividend. Will they just stay at the 2 naira they announced the last time, or will they increase it a bit? So maybe 3 or 4 naira, or even 5 naira. We are watching to see. Jimmy Agbaje, during the listing on the London Stock Exchange, eventually mentioned that they were targeting a 15% dividend yield. So our eyes are open to see how that pans out in the end. Coach, what about FCMB Bank? Is it a good buy? Well, FCMB can be ever so sluggish, but because it has stagnated for too long at 9 naira, it managed to climb up to 10. So it's at 10 naira 40 kobo. If you have sufficient patience, you may want to buy and sit there. But don't be surprised if suppliers suddenly pour in and crash the price down to 9 again. For now, there are 28 million bids versus 9.6 million offers. Coach, what's your take on Transpower? I have some units. Transpower has remained neglected by the market simply because the dividend being paid does not really justify the share price. So a lot of people are stuck in Transpower, and that's why it's on a daily basis at full offer. Currently 2.9 million offers, no bid whatsoever. And after about 3 hours of trading, what do you have? Just 22,000 shares traded. So people are in a hurry to run out, but nobody's ready to come and bail them out. Coach, why is Nascon flying? Why the half-year result is poor? What do you mean, is it Nascon? I'm seeing Nasco. Did you say Nascon's half-year result is poor? Are you serious? What results were you watching, please? Let's go and check for Nascon result. Nascon Allied Industries. It's important for us to go through this together sometimes so that just in case we are making an error in our own personal assessment, it can be easily corrected here. Okay, depending on how you understand the report, it's broken into 3 months, which is the second quarter, and then the full 6 months side by side. So I'm going to always go through the 6 months result, and then we will confirm what you mean by Nascon performed poorly while the stock price is rising. Looking at the 6 months performance, 2024 first 6 months, January to June, Nascon generated 50 billion naira revenue compared to 78 billion revenue generated in 2025 6 months. Cost of sales increased from 28 billion to 40 billion in 2025 6 months. Gross profit climbed from 22 billion to 37 billion. So how has the result been poor, if I may ask you? I think you misinterpreted or misread it. Operating profit jumped more than 3 times, from 7 billion to 21 billion. Are you seeing that? 6 months 2025, 21 billion. Profit before tax more than tripled, 7.2 billion to 23 billion. Taxation doubled, in fact tripled, from 2 billion to 7 billion. And then profit for the period more than tripled, from 4.8 billion to 15.5 billion. right? So the question is, where have they underperformed? Now take a look at this. From 3 naira 59 kobo earnings per share, Nascon recorded 11 naira 54 kobo earnings per share 2025 6 months. Can you believe that? All right, that's it. So Nascon is being justified by the market, as you can see. It should sell far more than what it is selling for, in fact. That's my take. Ladies and gentlemen, we have hit the 1 o'clock mark when the lines will be open for callers on TikTok. So feel free to call in and let's proceed. Michael is our first caller standing by already. We'll listen to him and hear him out while we continue to deal with some of your comments. Hello. Not connected yet, so I go on to the next comment on YouTube. Please, Ma, if Honeywell is delisting soon, should I sell my shares? Olaton, please do not sell. Okay? Stay on there and let there be an approval for the price. Someone is asking also, should I buy MTN at 471? Peace, Oibo, MTN. Let's see how much it is. Hold on, MTN. Well, MTN is at 490 naira. So where you are seeing 471 could be somewhere else. Currently 490. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Looks like we lost you there. Sorry about that. Okay. Next caller. Peter Ume. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're streaming from. Go ahead, go ahead. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I'm looking at Learn Africa. Maybe it being the next academic press, so that we don't miss another run, sir. Because I remember when you predicted academic press at 5 naira 20 kobo. I was still doing my registration with that class then. So by the time I wanted to log into it, it had already flown past the 5 naira. It's going for 11 naira now. So I'm looking at another sector in that same, another company in that sector, in that same printing sector. So could Learn Africa be another opportunity?
Well, not necessarily so. You may want to, the same way you cited it, you may want to also check and compare their financial reports.
Okay.
Learn Africa does not compare measurably with academic press going by the numbers. But it doesn't mean that it can't move beyond where it is now. I did those analyses before I arrived at settling for academic press, and the result is showing up till this moment. Thank you very much. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
All right. Peter Ume, can you unmute your mic? Peter Ume, you are the next. Well, if we can't get you, we will have to drop you until you are ready.
Hello?
Good afternoon. Please go away from the noise.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, go ahead. Your name and where you're streaming from.
Okay, I'm streaming from Onitsha, Kutube. I got some Japan stocks. I don't know. The result came out yesterday. At least I got around, that was, my average is around 2 naira 10 kobo. I don't know whether to hold on or is there anything with development. Maybe I heard they want to raise more than thereabout.
Why did you buy Japan? What informed your decision to buy Japan?
So what informed my decision? That was, I saw a gross deal of about 100 and something million then. That was last month. That was why I bought it. That's all.
Okay.
Because I saw the cross deal was done at 205. So I took position at 207, 208.
Okay. You don't conclude that way because of a cross deal that you have no idea about. Though it could be a good sign that something wants to happen. My reason for saying it the way I'm putting it now is because the patience level of the person who is cross dealing might be completely different from yours. That could be an institution taking a long-term position, say 10 years position, and they don't care what the price is doing now. Whereas you are looking forward to 2 or 1 year period. So you need to be careful at your entry price. Though it's a good entry up till now, so you need to just stay patient. The stock price will never go on a straight line as well. There will always be ups and downs until it eventually settles. Thank you very much. I have a problem with your sound, please. We can't continue with that noise at the background. It's really causing headache here. Chuchuli. Agatha Omoruyi says, I am glad to be here. Agatha, we are very glad to have you here, actually. Next caller. Good afternoon. Can we make it brief?
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you doing, Coach?
Excellent. And you?
Okay, I'm fine. I just have a couple of questions to ask.
Make it fast. That's the problem. Connection issues left, right, and center, and becomes a stumbling block.
Can you hear me, Coach?
Please make it fast so that we don't keep going back and forth.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, by virtue of setting up your account with Atlas, the account number that we used to register, is that where the dividends are paid into?
Yes, your bank account details. That's where the dividend is paid into.
Fantastic. Second question. I don't understand when you say 20 naira per ordinary share or 50 kobo. I'm trying to understand that. I don't really understand what it actually means. So I just want a bit of a clarification on that.
Okay. Every time you read the full statements, dividend announcement or public offer announcements, you will hear 500,000 shares at 50 kobo, of 50 kobo at so naira market price. The point is, all stocks on the NGX have what you call nominal value. Nominal value in the sense that there is an amount of money paid for those stocks to be existing. That's where you hear paid up share capital. So the nominal value for some stocks is 50 kobo. For some stocks is 1 naira. The stocks are not just existing on air. Money was paid down for them to exist by the company. So those nominal values, what you hear, every time you hear 50 kobo per share at so naira per share. So the 50 kobo is the nominal value you are hearing about. And then the main stock price in the market is the other one you hear in terms of the price of the stock. So when dividends are paid, they are paid per ordinary share of 50 kobo each, which is the nominal value. That's what it is. Basically, that's it. Is it clear now?
I believe as time goes on, I will get a full hang of it, but this is clear enough for now.
All right.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you, Chuchuli. It's important for us to continue to educate ourselves. If you find anything intriguing, feel free to ask questions. That's why we're here. We invest knowledgeably. So you are permitted to come the way you are, completely lacking any form of this knowledge, but you have to keep learning while making money as you are guided. All right? Okay. We have Christiana Obafemi, then Pastor J will be next, according to first come, first serve basis. Please make sure there is no background noise before calling in to avoid callbacks. Well, every callback I receive eventually leads to cutting the calls so that I don't suffer unnecessary inconveniences in my ears. Hello. Is Christiana on the line? Hello, Christiana Obafemi. Hello, Christiana. Looks like she called in error, so we'll let her go without waste of time and go on to Pastor J. While we're trying to connect with Pastor J, I bought Learn Africa at 313 and on 80% gain at the moment. Uyi West, that was a fantastic entry. Fantastic one there. What stock can I buy today? Footy fans. I'm seeing that anytime you see Dangote cement under 500, that's a good sign. Yes. And MTN will pull back a little bit, having touched 500 or 499 and so on. So you want to take position there eventually when the pullback settles in. Hello, Pastor J. Good afternoon, sir. It's good to be with you. Please tell us where you're streaming from.
I'm streaming from Sweden. Thank you so much. I'm 3 months old in your platform, and I want to tell you that I could never imagine my portfolio would have grown 10%.
Wow.
And I know it's still growing. I want to thank you for that. I'm listening to all your recommended stuff. I'm always on my bio and paper.
Awesome.
Taking some jobs to be able to capture what you say and be able to make investment decisions.
Great.
Now, on the Kumo oil, 3 days ago, via your report about the Kumo oil, I jumped in at 1,030 kobo per share unit cost, and today I'm smiling, even just 3 days ago. Then I want to ask, GTCO, of course, I have GTCO 12,000 units somewhere with them when I bought them now. But Maritime has refused to release it to Afrinvest, which are trading platform and trading units. I don't know. I have written to them several times. Written a gentle reminder. I've not heard from them, so that I can be able to have control over my GTCO. Now, apart from that, I want to ask: is it a good time to take position in GTCO, or at what price do you think I should take position in GTCO? I still see a brighter future. Why? Because for them to have gone into London stock to list their stock there, it means that Nigerian stock will have a future about it. I also took a position of very little stock in London stock, but in the Nigerian market, I want to what position, what price can I take in? I want to buy more of GTCO.
Okay. I think I mentioned just about 3 days ago that GTCO at 93 is looking great. And anything under 100 is fine. But as we speak, GTCO actually climbed up to 100 today. Let me see where it is. It doesn't mean that it won't come below 100. It will keep dilly-dallying this way until it finally establishes a strong support above 100 and eventually may never come down. But for now, there are still chances that it could drop below 100. Though, I'm looking at the bid and offer status right now. They match each other, 9.9. 9 million bids versus 9 million offers. Out of the 9 million bids, more than 2 million are priced at 100 naira per share and above. So people are beginning to settle in to say, look, this is okay even at 100 naira. And eventually, we could see a situation where it starts trading permanently above 100. For now, it's okay. Those bids have reduced. We're talking about the number of bids at 100 and above. Currently, it's now 640,000 bids at 100 and above. And the bids have reduced to 7 million bids. So while I was talking, they sold down some of those bids. So what I would say is stay patient and be collecting some dividends, even in, some GTCO in batches under 100 naira before it finally firms up a position above 100 permanently.
Thank you so much, Pastor Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Pastor J. All right. Okay, next will be Bisoye. After Bisoye, then we go on to JD Food. Okay? Hello. Good afternoon. Excellent. And how are you? Your voice is very low. Please tell us your name and where you're streaming from.
My name is Bisoye.
Bisoye
I'm speaking from Ikeja.
from Ikeja. Could you speak a bit louder?
Okay, let me disconnect from my left phone.
Better.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Much better. Thank you very much, Bisoye. Please go ahead.
Okay. Please, for the past 12 years, I've not received dividend on First Bank and GTCO. I have sent mails, only correlation replied me that all unclaimed dividend have been sent to DMO. And my broker said I can only do it by myself, that is a personal thing. They don't do it for clients. So how do I go about it?
Okay, you are. Bisoye, you are even at the center of it all, where it's all happening. I feel that the best approach is to pick up your valid ID and walk into First Registrar's office.
Okay.
And then lay your complaints. They will take your ID, verify you, and track all your stocks and pay them into your account straight regarding your unclaimed dividends. And then also let them know that you want your stocks that have not been mapped into your brokerage account to be also moved. At that point, oh, fantastic. So practically, the best way to approach this now is to proceed to the brokers, the registrar's offices and claim all your dividends. They are yours. Nobody should, hinder you from getting them. And I'll be here to get your feedback that, oh, it really worked, so it can encourage others. The most reason why I like people to come back to tell of their story is because so many other people will need that encouragement to proceed to also claim theirs. Is that fine, Bisoye?
That's fine, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. And you too. JD Food, over to you. Okay, we have a comment from Mikades. It says, hello, JD. Hello, you there? Okay, I think she must have called in error. So we proceed on to Olugbenga. While we're still connecting with Olugbenga, I was trying to read a comment from Mikades. He says, the People's Empowerment Coach on the following: PZ, Wapik, Sterling, International Breweries, Access, FCMB, Omatech, and Legend Internet. Your expert advice, please. What do you want? You listed all these stocks. Are you saying which to pick? You want to invest in anyone? You have them and you want to discard anyone? Please, can you clarify so I don't go off point? Hello. Okay, we lost that other person. Now we go on to Rafi. Vincent Farb says, hello, coach. Please, what can you say about hymns? I doubt if that caller is aware that he has called in. So we go on to the next, Shin Yem. Hello, Shin Yem.
Good afternoon, coach.
Good afternoon. Please tell us your name and where you are streaming from.
So my name is Chinyem. I'm calling in from London, the UK. So coach, I just wanted to really quickly ask you, because I did put in a bid for Dangote sugar. Not bid, like request to purchase Dangote sugar, like for about 2 days now. And my brokers, they are unable to purchase it, you know. I'm just worried it's going up. Should I pull back and kind of like buy something else? Or what do you think? Yeah.
I honestly wish you are using a brokerage platform that allows you to do these things yourself. This is why we try to recommend things like Atlas, or maybe Morgan Capital, and any other. Because this just yesterday it was 64 naira, now it's 71, and on full bid. Now it becomes more difficult for them to make any purchase for you now because it's completely off the table. But as at yesterday, it was still available. The day before, it was even at 58. And if it was something you were able to do yourself, you would have just done it and walked away. The problem with putting in buy mandate or sell mandate is they get to do their transactions or so many other transactions before they get to your turn, and it can be frustrating. If you ask me, I would say maybe you cancel it and wait for a pullback. Dangote Sugar is always going to pull back, and when it does, you put in another bid.
So I had the same experience with tea, yeah.
Look at that.
When it was about
Very
6 naira,
frustrating.
7 naira,
Just look at.
and
Look
I
at
pulled
that.
back, and now it's like 15 naira. So I'm worried about the same thing happening with Dangote sugar also.
Well, as it is, you could decide to even stay in there, because now what happens is, in your case, you do not even have the luxury of waiting for a pullback to jump in and so on, because you could still face the same problems. So in your case, you just have to even stay in there, no matter how much you buy it, no matter after how low it drops after you buy, you just have to stay the long haul. So you emphasize on having the stock first in your hands, because that stock is determined for the top, and at 71 today, that's not the maximum it will get to eventually. Give it 6 months from now to 1 year, we should be talking about 100 naira plus. So if you are able to manage to get it in spite of all these frustrations, then you just sit in there for the long haul. I think that's another way to go about it, but you have to pressure them to get it for you. Unfortunately, now it's on full bid, so they really can't do much now. I'm really surprised they couldn't do anything since Monday when it was available, and when the market was misinterpreting that result. I said it here, and then it dropped from 60 to 58, and I was like, okay, this is an opportunity, and then now it's 71.
71, yeah. So it's more of like a top-up for me, because I think I've had Dangote for almost 7 years now.
Oh, fantastic. Wonderful.
Yeah, so it's just like a
Awesome.
top-up. But I'm worried, because I bought in about 20-something naira or 30-something naira, and now I'm buying 70-something, so I'm like, should I still go since it's just like a top-up, or should I still go back?
As long as it's a top-up, more reason why you should hang in there until they buy it for you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Coach. God
Thank
bless
you very much. God bless you too. Bye. Great Dane, you are next. Sir, can I buy QTICs for long term? You can buy QTICs, or you will have to be very patient. All these stocks, I need your patience. All right, we're definitely not the right people for you. Nima Awak. Hello, coach. Is Sovereign Insure a good buy? That's from Jace. Sovereign Insure. Let me check to see. Sovereign Insure. 207. It's looking interesting. Wow. It's on full bid. Sovereign Insure, full bid. Looks like the insurance sector is not playing. Royal X is another one that could make you money. 1 naira 54 kobo per share currently. Almost going on full bid as well. Okay, sir, please, what do you have to say about status? What do you mean by status? Could you please clarify? Gloria, how do you mean status? Hello, Nima Awak. Did I get your name correctly?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Where are you streaming from?
I'm streaming from Abuja.
All right, Nima from Abuja. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Please, what stock can I buy for children?
Okay. It will be nice to take position in a stock like Qtix Charms because they have enough time while they are growing. The stock is also growing. They don't need to bother about capital gains because they are not even aware you are buying those stocks for them. But these are stocks with great future ahead. Okay, and then if you have sufficient capital, you want to add tip at 14 or below. Tip may eventually close under 14 naira today. We don't know. We'll watch to see because it's coming from a pullback of a very high jump. Is that okay?
Then, for myself, is it okay to buy UACN or Dangote cement now?
The two of them are good, just that Dangote cement is more expensive at the moment. But Dangote cement is actually the leader in the cement industry if you compare them with WAPCO and BUA.
Okay. And MTN?
Well, MTN has been running. Hopefully it doesn't pull back too much if you are able to buy now. But be rest assured, these are very good long-term growth stocks. They will defend your portfolio and will not suffer any major decline in the years to come.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. And I think I've made almost 80-something% of my portfolio already. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Awesome.
258% and so on. Like, I've made a lot already. Thank you so much.
Wow, this is amazing. Thank you very much, Nima. Congratulations. You are one of the best. You are one of the best moms that anyone can wish for. Having bought for yourself, the children will now also be introduced into this way of making money. Awesome. I pray one day they will grow up to celebrate you for your efforts. 109%. Can you believe that? Ladies, are you hearing this? Mothers, are you hearing this? Well, you have another mentor in the house. Her name is Nima Awak. Thank you so much, Nima. Just keep winning. All right.
Definitely. Yes, sir. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, next is Afrobeats. Afrobeats. Fancy Nails says, please, sir, say something about Fidelity. Well, Fidelity is looking at everybody now and just smiling at WAPCO coming close. And it's just a matter of time for Fidelity. I think there is a heavy load of Fidelity being sold. That's what is holding back that stock from climbing. We'll watch to see when that offload is done. I'm trying to take a look. Yes, there are still 26 million offers versus 14 million bids. And the bids that are about 21 naira per share, just less than 1 million shares at 21 bidded for. So when this offload is done, because I noticed it, there has always been loads of Fidelity on offer. When it dries up, then Fidelity will fly. For now, it's giving a chance to anybody else to get in there at 21 and 20 from time to time. That's what I can say about Fidelity. Hello, Afrobeats, your name and where you're streaming from. Very good afternoon to you.
From Edo State, Nigeria.
All right, from Edo State. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I've always been here. Although I'm a little bit concerned, my money comes in bits. For example, I have about 100 and something thousand naira with me. Although I have CLIs in, I have a Fidelity Bank. So I just want to know if I could, although I'm actually investing a little bit for a long time, from up to 5 to 10 years, I have that in mind. So I was actually asking probably if my money come in fractions like that, if I can keep topping up either for Fidelity, or I wanted to see if I can get some cute things, if it's possible. So I just need advice around that.
Okay, I think the best way to go is first, you have to pick the stocks you want and keep piling in every time funds flow. The next thing is you need discipline to stay the course and not deviate. Meaning, whatever you have decided to keep putting in there, nothing should tamper with it. Just keep doing what you are doing and build on what you have bought. Do not fall for the temptation of trying to be all over the place, because that will not do you any much good. Unless the money is in bulk and you are moving all bulk funds at once. You jump into one, it gives you a little bit of profit, you go into another. That's the only way that I think you can really make sense. Otherwise, if you're topping up little by little from time to time, stay the course and then continue to top up on what you already have. Is that okay, sir? I may not have heard you confirm, but I think I made myself very clear. So in order to save time, we proceed to the next caller. Rafi called back. Your background was too noisy. We couldn't have done anything. Royal, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is Rafi from Lagos. So I'm here to complain and also to say something.
Okay.
I've missed your advice about 2 times. The first time you advised me us to buy tea at 4 naira. I missed that. Now I called again, I think sometime last month, and you advised to buy UACN and Access Bank. As at the time you advised for UACN, it was 41. Now it's 73. As at the time you advised for Access Bank, it was 23. Now it's 27. I did not invest in those stocks, and I'm really angry. So I'm calling back again. The third time to still seek your advice if it's still fine to go with UACN, Access Bank, and Fidelity. These are the 3 you suggested from the last time I called.
Okay, first off, I want to really know what happened. Why couldn't you execute?
Okay, so I wanted to buy about 30 million, and they said to me that I have to pay 500,000 in commission. So I was surprised. Is that how it works? You want to buy stock of up to, for example, take $1 naira, you pay 500,000 in commission. That just threw me off, and I went back. I didn't invest.
Who is telling you that?
So I'm using the platform called, what's it called? AfriInvest.
We really need to know what percentage their charges are. And unfortunately, we do not also want to sound as though we are paid to promote a company here. But what I do is, I've had up to 6 brokers, and before I settled with the one I use now, I saw that their commission is 0.4% and 0.6%. It will really be interesting to know what percentage of 30 million is 500,000. I am thinking that's a bit high. I can't really tell, but I can assure you that commissions are paid per transaction. Whether or not it is high depends on which house you are using. And I'm shocked that you are being told in advance what the commission should be, because basically you just go ahead, buy the stock, and then in your contract note you see a breakdown of what the costs are.
Yeah, so in Afro Invest, when you type in shares and you click on buy, it shows you the total amount you're going to transfer, shows you the commission, shows you different things even before you proceed. Yeah, that's how.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, I have no control over that because I can't really say any much. So it means that you are now ready to buy and pay whatever the charges are this time. Oh my God.
Yeah, because you've advised me like 3 times and everything is always a hit, so I'm coming back with another hit again.
Wow. At the moment, the market is really, really high up there. It becomes very difficult to make a pronouncement. But guess what? Cadbury continues to look more and more interesting. So maybe we want to mark today again, the 30th of July 2025, where I cited Cadbury at 65 naira. Now, this is far higher than when I started mentioning it at 24 and 30. Now, it's at 65, and if you are going in for the long term, Cadbury is still a good candidate to bag now. The problem is, while I'm talking to you, some people may just react. I don't know where people are listening from and are responding sometimes, but it's 64 now. I think in this sector, this is a good price for now with the way things are going. Yes. And I'll leave it at that. Okay, Zenith, anything around 73, 72 is fine. So currently 73, it's okay.
Okay, excellent. Thank you again. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Next time we'll be hearing of how you struck gold, right? All right, bye. You see, if you are not following me, you are losing money. I didn't put those words in his mouth, but that's what we get when you pay attention. J. Ezeani. Hi, coach. What platform do you use to trade stocks for NG and US? US Trading 212, though you can't do that from Nigeria anymore. And Nigeria, I use Atlas Portfolios. All right. Okay, Dr. T has done the maths. 500K of 3 million is 1.67% actually. Well, I can't say much so that I don't appear to be promoting or demoting or demarketing any organization. Commission is regulated by NGX. Okay, there is actually a range of commissions. So that's it. Let's keep going. Hello, coach. Please, what can you say about HIMS? Well, HIMS is one stock I've mentioned severally. When it was unfairly punished by the US market and it dropped to 21, I mentioned it around November. Then it climbed up to 60 something and then crashed again because NVO was pulling out of their transactions with them. And I said, okay, go ahead again and buy HIMS at 47. So let's see how much HIMS is from that 47. That was most recently, like 3 weeks ago. HIMS is up to 60. It's a very good long-term stock and has shown serious resilience over time. Vincenti Fab, I hope you are listening, on Instagram. If you are buying HIMS, buy it for the long term. Even at 60, not bad. Yesterday it gained 2%. The last 5 days it gained 4%. In the last 1 month, HIMS has gained 28%. I'm sure that's where it dropped to after that pullout by NVO from that deal. I was here to announce to us that after they got dumped by NVO, that saw the price drop again up to 47, they found a Canadian partner that they were going in to transact to replace NVO. And perhaps things are looking up. In the last 6 months, HIMS has climbed 87%. Since January till date, it's done 144%. And when you record such profits in USD, you know you are making real money. That's the way it works here. Thank you very much. That's my thoughts on HIMS. Hello, can I speak to you privately, Eugene? Why not? Just send me a DM on Instagram at Wealth Coach Omiete, then I will help you, and then I will be able to communicate with you. Idejo, Ideloje, I'm so sorry if I didn't mention your name correctly. You may also help me. Hello, please unmute your mic and proceed with your questions while I'm waiting for you to do so, because before you know it, time will be up. 19 minutes to go. Wow. Toby Loba says, I got him at 20. Come on now. You are 20 plus 20 plus 20 is 60. You are 200% up. So if you invested $1,000, you are $2,000 up. That's the meaning. You bought at 20, it's 60. HIMS should be pursuing around 80 in the near future, if no other news emerges that sends the stock price going down again. Agatha Omoruyi is asking, Coach, are you on YouTube? Yes, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. So just click the link on my bio, the link tree there. You will see all the social media handles. Click on any one and join. My YouTube handle is at Wealth Coach Omiete. The same with TikTok and Instagram. So all daily live stream videos are posted there. So for those of you who are at work and cannot concentrate, and for those who are in the US and in Canada, due to time difference, you can feel free to go on the YouTube channel immediately after the live session. 5 minutes after the live session, the video is there waiting for you to take time to do these things. You risk missing out on live market activities, okay? I'm sure Maobi is responding to someone there. Isoken says, I got HIMS at 47. Can I top on it? Well. If I take a look at the 1 month chart, I would say maybe you should wait to see if it drops to below 60 if you want to top up. There's a chance it could drop to 50 or something close to 48 or 49, say 50, because the stock market doesn't move on a straight line. So even when you want to top up, you want to hold on a bit before you strike, right? Clean says, Coach, please, between Zenith, First Holdco, and UBA, which do I top up? Top up the one that may run away and you may never get, and that's Zenith. All right? Oh, wow. I love the feedback I'm getting here. I got HIMS at 36. We making money this year. That's from Max. Thank you very much. You guys are really smart sets of people, and I'm really proud of what you are achieving for yourselves in this space. Okay? Fantastic moves you are making quietly, and it can only get better. Imagine you knew me 3 years ago, right? Would have made a kill. But never mind, you are here now, so we do it together. Hi, Coach, where can I buy US stocks? What broker do you use? Just Kemi. Depends on your location. If you are in Nigeria, I would recommend Optimus by AfriInvest. Optimus by AfriInvest, and then Bamboo as well. And then if you are abroad, Trading 212 is my first call. Okay? Right, next caller. God is the greatest is our next caller. What do you think about ICO insurance? Do you think I should bulk up on this? Maybe you should do so around 2 naira 15 kobo. Oh, Jace uses Optimus. Interesting stuff there. Okay. We couldn't get God is great. What happened? I'll call you back. One more chance for God is great before we move on to the next caller. Is it right to buy Presco now? I would suggest you hold on a bit and wait to see what's happening with Presco before you get in. Presco got challenged by Okomo recently, who declared an interim dividend of 30 kobo while Presco declared 20 kobo. And so that alone can sway the market sentiment in favor of Okomo more than Presco. As we can see, Okomo is gaining for the day 1,147 naira per share, and Presco is a bit on the stagnant side, 1,530, losing 20 kobo for the day at the moment. So you may want to wait a bit and see what happens with Presco, whether it goes down a little bit more before you buy. Which US stock is best to buy now? Monique. It depends on what you want, really. There is no best stock to buy. It has to fit your criteria. I said something about getting a way to bring up my US stock watch list here, but I haven't done that. So it's always a problem for me to give recommendations on that. I have some very good penny stocks, US stocks like TTI. Let me see how much TTI is now. Tetra Technologies, very good penny stock, great prospects going forward in the long run. Very, very sound, but the market has not really paid attention to it. I don't know why. Okay? Maybe because it's a penny stock yet, but it's sound. I don't also remember if I've mentioned it, but if you are patient enough, Tetra Technologies Incorporated is a good US penny stock. Perhaps this is the first time I'm mentioning it here. $3.82 per share. In the last 5 days, it's done 3%. In the last 1 month, it's done 10%. In the last 6 months, it's lost 10%. And then in the last 1 year, 0.79%. So the stock price has not really moved, and for whatever reason. But if you take a look at the numbers, it looks interesting. Revenue, $599 million US dollars. Net income, $108 million. That's a fantastic margin, if you ask me, going by what I see there. Okay? And then basic earnings per share is 85 cents. A stock is making almost $1 per share, and still looking at trading around $3.82. Let me take a look at it at some other platform and see. TTI is the ticker symbol. Tetra Technologies Incorporated is the name of the company. Okay, trailing 12 months revenue is $607 million. Net income, $115 million. Still an interesting sight to behold in terms of the margin. And of course, if we take a look at earnings per share, 86 cents per share, trailing 12 months. PE ratio, 4.46x. Fantastic. But you and I do not know when the market will reward such a stock. So this is one for the long-term future. Current revenue growth recorded second quarter 1.1%. Net income growth 47%. That's talking about quarter on quarter. Earnings per share growth 37% quarter on quarter. Right? So they are coming from a negative free cash flow in first quarter 2025 to a positive, negative $14 million free cash flow to $28 million positive. So everything is looking up great for this stock. We just don't know when the market will recognize it and get volumes done. Okay, it's Fatims says, sir, please, is Nascon and Sugar still going to merge? I have both shares. Is it okay to still hold? It's Fatims. I have held right from more than a year ago, and up till when the merger was announced, I went and bought very high, around 50 something, to add to what I had My entry price for Dangote Sugar was around 16. Then when I topped up, it became 26 per share, entry price. I stayed in there until now. Please stay in there. The merger may happen, but like I said, with or without the merger, I said this thing severally many months ago. With or without the merger, you see Nascon, you see Dangote Sugar, they are fantastic businesses that will fly. And what do we have today? They have almost all surpassed last year's high, in which people jumped in because of the merger. Okay, we have 9 minutes more, and I think we dealt very well with the calls this time. Emmanuel Shelep has been standing by with Carl Busi. Okay, let's take Carl. Carl was there before Emmanuel. After Carl, then we'll take on Shelep Emmanuel. Hello, Carl. Are you there? Okay, because of time, we'll proceed to Emmanuel Shelep since we cannot connect with Carl. Hello, Emmanuel. Looking like we can't also connect with Emmanuel. Ovien Success, you are next. Hello.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Good afternoon. Your name and where you're streaming from?
My name is Success. I'm streaming from Canada.
Success from Canada. We're glad to have you.
Yes, sir. So I want to ask, I know Nigerian stocks do well, but I want to ask, what about US stocks? Like, can you also help us with US stocks? You just talk about TTI now, or if you have on like live sections about US stocks too. And then Chams, at what price should you buy Chams?
Okay, Uber is a good US stock to buy following the dip it experienced after losing a court case with smaller ride-hailing companies in Liverpool. Uber dropped from 90, where I mentioned it, to 87, and that's a good long-term buy.
Okay.
Currently 87.11. In pre-market, 87.00. Other good US stocks I've actually mentioned earlier that still looks good is ACMR. I remember mentioning that at $19 per share. It's currently $31.68. I am thinking very strongly it has a very good long-term prospect. So you may want to wait for a little dip here to say around $29 or somewhere around 28, 29. That would be a good entry point for ACMR. I think these are some of the sure banker US. Then I mentioned also Alphabet, ticker symbol GOOG, the owners or the parent company of Google. It's now 196, or is it 196? That's a very good long-term stock as well to hold. And then for Charms, I saw it trading just under 3 naira. 2.99 will be a good entry price if you see it anything less than that as well. Fantastic for a long-term position, but currently it's 3 naira. From time to time it sells under 3 naira. The selling pressure on Charms is still a lot. In fact, the highest bid is 2.95, so maybe it has sold as low as that. So do not buy more than 3 naira at the moment. I think that's my take on that. 5 minutes before we round off, I hope I satisfied you there. Success. I've always forgotten to do this, but I'll find a way to get my watch list for US stocks ready before the live session, so it helps. Thank you very much. Carl Busi, you are next. Good afternoon. Your name and where you're streaming from?
Yeah, I'm from Lagos.
I didn't get your name, sir.
My name is Busayo.
Busayo from Lagos. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
ask about your take on Legend 8 and Sooner Assurance. I know Legend 8 did the IPO recently and it dipped after that. Do you think now is a good time for people who were skeptic to now come in, or we should leave it as it is? Same thing for Sooner Assurance. They seem to be dominating.
Okay, Legend Internet, I never encourage anyone to get in at the 5 something it went to. I mean, it was listed and then it jumped to almost 10 and retraced back to 5 and then goes back to 7, 8, comes back. And then I came back here and said, okay, even if the valuation does not support the price at even 5, it's now shown a behavior of always oscillating between 5 and 9 or thereabouts. So for short-term trade transactions, you could do anytime you see Legend Internet at 5, you could go ahead and buy and then wait for it to jump to 7, 8 and sell off and wait for another pullback. I think that's been the best way to play this game for now, because until we start seeing very good results, that stock may not do much. It could even depreciate further, especially if results get turned in and they are not looking even healthy as the market anticipated. That's about Legend Int. For Sooner Assurance, it's coming from a very long marathon race and it's only going to struggle because it became overvalued towards the end of last year when it jumped from around under 1 naira or about 1 naira to up to, I think, 11 naira or so. I will check and see. Yes, 11.65 got that high. And there were no fundamentals backing it, but people enjoyed a ride. So it becomes hazardous now to just go in there for no reason. I haven't taken a look at their finances, and so it's not too safe. Whether it will go below that, I don't know, especially in the course of this year. I don't know how low it has gone, but it could just be bottoming out where it is now at 4.21 kobo per share. Bid and offer is showing 6.3 million bids versus 7 million offers. So the offers are still slightly more. It means there could be a chance that it consolidates around this price. We never know. Thank you very much. We have just 2 minutes more to go and we will take one more call from Peace from God. That sounds angelic. Peace from God. Let's hear peace from God so we can have peace from God indeed. Hello. Gracia says most insurance companies don't have good fundamentals, so be careful. It's audio money. Hello. Looks like our last caller is not coming forth. Peace from God. Are you there? Please unmute your mic. Just tap on your screen. You will see the mic icon. Tap on it again. That's the way to unmute. Let's see if we can talk. If not, in the 1 minute left, we should talk to Temple. Temple, are you there? Please unmute your mic and let's communicate. Looks like Peace from God is not ready to give us peace. Good afternoon, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're streaming from. You are our last caller because it's already 2 p.m.
Okay, my name is Temple. I'm streaming from Germany.
Thank you very much, Temple from Germany. Go ahead.
Yes, actually I came across your video online now as I was able to join your link. I'm actually new to this stock trade thing, investment or whatever. For now, I'm trading on European markets with Trade Republic. So I'm trying to look into American stock market and then also in Nigerian stock market. So the possibilities and how it is like there. I don't really have much information, and then being able to find out which stocks are good and which to invest in and which not to. So I don't know if you have. I didn't join on time, so I don't know if you have any information about that, or if there is any maybe video or something like a page explaining that, so we can go actually look at it later.
Temple, just go on my YouTube channel. Even today's live stream is available. All other live streams are available 2 hours free. All you need to do is tap on the Linktree link on my bio. You will see the YouTube link. Click on it, subscribe for free. You have all the videos. Set notification for fresh videos that will be dropping, including today's full 2 hours live session. It will drop 5 minutes after today's live session is done. And then you could also hit my Instagram link on that link tree and then send me a DM for any other thing that you may want. If you need a specific video, because there are two. Oh, fantastic. I have had a lot of backlogs of DMs unanswered on Instagram. Did you send on Instagram?
No, I sent on TikTok.
It's difficult for me on TikTok. I hardly am able to check TikTok DMs. That's why I refer people to Instagram. And even Instagram is getting choked now. But I still try to see how much I can attend to. So the chances of responding is higher on Instagram. All right. Just in case the videos are too many and you can't trace them, I can easily send you a link on Instagram if you DM me for the one that really explains fundamental basis. But since you're already doing stocks, the next thing to do is to just go on the previous videos, yesterday's, today's, the day before's, and on and on. Is that okay, sir?
All right, that's okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2 minutes past 2. I think we've done a good job today. Thank you very much, Benita. You have been anchoring very well, I can see on YouTube. Thank you very much, Maobi, as well. You've done a great job here on TikTok. And of course, Gratitude Boss, I see you there. Luke, I've not seen you on Instagram. We need that support on Instagram so that most of these questions can be responded to. And we see as much as possible how we can attend to all of your requests. Tomorrow is another day. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you very much for being there again today. Hopefully, we keep doing this and keep making money. This year, we vowed from January that we will make money this year, and we are indeed doing so. I was really very impressed with the feedbacks on the performances of your portfolios, and it can only get better going forward. Stay invested, stay focused, trust the process, and we'll keep building together. But by all means, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel and share the videos when you watch them the way you are relentlessly sharing the live stream, because all what we're trying to do is save lives from poverty and ignorance, because people have actually eaten their future without knowing. Every time you clear every money that comes to you, you are eating your future, and that's going to backfire badly. You don't want to suffer in your later age when you can't work for money. That's why we invest. Thank you very much. Enjoy the